Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Shaniqua Pierce, and I will be your instructor for social work practice with families. I am originally from New York City, and I have been residing in Delaware for about 8 years, but I went to Temple University, so very familiar with Philadelphia, probably similar to many of you guys. And so I look forward to working with you and supporting your academic journey. I think you picked an amazing field. It's just been really rewarding to see how social work is so broad and what we can do and to make the world a better place. So I am also a licensed clinical social worker, so I do some private practice work. I run a support group twice a month for adults who have lost a loved one to homicide in Delaware. And I also am the clinical state director for an organization called Pathways of Delaware. So what I do is I oversee all the clinical programming for alternative school students in the state of Delaware. So it's been an amazing journey, a lot of fun, a lot of trial and error and interventions, but certainly nonetheless a lot of fun and very rewarding. So in addition to my many of things, I am also in school like you guys. I'm working on a doctorate degree in education at Wilmington University. So I empathize with your ability and admire it to really juggle a work-life family balance. It really is, I think, one of the toughest things to do. So I am on this journey with you. You are certainly not alone, and we're going to do great things this semester. I'm really excited to see the kind of work that you guys put forth and the types of things that I will also learn from you and the work that you do in the field, and very similar things that maybe I can translate to the work that I do. So great. So I'm going to hop into the assignments for this week. I will also post another video later this week to review the syllabus in deeper detail, but I figured let's get started on week 1. So your very first assignment is actually your introduction. So basically, just like how I did, let me just minimize this video, is you're going to post your initial post by this Thursday, and what you're going to do is similar to what I'm doing now. Is you're going to go to screencast-o-matic.com and you're going to record a video. You're going to tell me your name, your first year field placement, your most recent job title, what your experience has been in working with families in your job and in your field placement, and the basic structure of family system or systems in which you were raised. So disclose as much or as little as what you feel comfortable. It's certainly a safe space, so do it at your leisure. One role you have played in your own family and how this role might impact what your work with clients and families. Like, so for example, for me, I would always say I played the mediator in my family. I wanted everyone to get along and for things to just be peace and harmony. And so interestingly enough, I play that role as an adult. So it's not much different from my childhood, which is, I think, pretty unique. And any burning questions you might have about family work that you want to have answered in this course. I'm really interested to see what you guys are interested in learning or interested about hearing. So that's your first one. You want to make sure that you follow up with at least one response to one of your classmates by this Sunday. And so the guidelines for posting is in here. I won't go through them because I know you guys at this point are really comfortable with discussion posts. So just wanted to give you an idea. Make sure you post that by this Thursday and follow up by this Sunday. So that's one assignment. I know there's many assignments because we're in the 7-week course. So hang with me. So the next assignment that you have is another discussion post, and it requires a lot more reading and thinking. And so your initial post is going to be due this Thursday, and you want to respond to at least one peer by this Sunday. And so what you're going to do is you're going to read the social work shared case, choose one of the concepts of family systems thinking listed on the family system theory resource, and provide an example of how that concept has manifested itself in Anita's family. So Anita's family is actually the shared case that you're going to read about. Then what you're going to do afterwards is you're going to choose one of the 6 stages described by Carter in chapter 1 and do the following. So you describe the type of problem that a family might encounter, completing the task of that stage, and how a worker might help that family. So for example, sometimes I work with older adults in counseling, and they have what I call the empty nest syndrome, right? So that stage when your children are now leaving the house, and it can be really hard to adjust to because most of your life, and now you've really dedicated some time to, supporting your children's every move, and so for them to not need you in that capacity can feel very depressing for a lot of people. So just an example to work with if you're like me and you need an example. And then what you want to do is provide one example of a life cycle challenge faced by either a gay or lesbian family or a remarried family as described in either Goldberg or Carter. And I really like this point because what you find is that families are so unique, in this century, and we have this different perception of what family can look like and what can be accepted. And so I'm really interested to what you guys learn and what you put forth for this response prompt. So this is your second assignment. Make sure you have an initial post by this Thursday and follow up by this Sunday with one peer. So I know it's a lot of reading components. What I would do is just take it one bulletin point at a time. And I would also get in the habit of using APA format. If you struggle with that and you need any help, please know I am here. But I think it's really good practice because when you do that often, it becomes second nature. And then when it's time to write your papers, APA format doesn't become much of an issue at all. Okay? So great. And then your next assignment is your week 1 assignment. So this is going to be cool because it will build on as the weeks come along. So this is your weekly family therapy theory grid. It's due week 1 for the first example. Let me pull it up so it makes more sense. So you're responsible for week 1, filling out the boxes here. And I would really just save one template. So if you're like me and you're like, do I have to submit a new one each week? No, your answer is no. Definitely save yourself the headache, and you can use one form and just make sure you have it saved and just add to it as the weeks go along. So just be mindful that you have 2 to fill out in week 5, but nothing to fill out in week 4. So that can be a little tricky. So I'll remind you guys as the time goes along. So for example, it says, one of my favorite theories and practices is narrative therapy. I just really love it because I feel like it's so natural for me. So that's not till week 6, right? So let's just go through a quick example. So it says list at least 4 main ideas associated with this theory for practice. After each idea, provide a one sentence description. So one of the things in narrative therapy, as you'll read, is that it allows the client or the family to share events in their own words, to share their personalized story. And that's very empowering, especially if you're dealing with a family who has a generational trauma or things that have happened that maybe different family members see it in different ways. And so it allows every voice to be validated. And I think that's so powerful in family work. So you can talk about the power of the voice, and it's your truth, right? And people will have different perceptions about that, but in counseling what we do is we validate that. We don't question whether the facts are there or not, probably until later, and just challenge those things. But it's very empowering, and I think you can do so much with that. You can have people express their stories through art, through music, through dance. There's so much that you can do with that in a family setting and make it more fun. So just an idea about narrative therapy and just the way that you can express it. If you get stuck on this one this week, feel free to reach out to me. But I think as long as you guys follow the basic instructions, it will make perfect sense. And make sure that you follow the APA format. So if you are going to cite something, just make sure that you use that. If you're going to use direct quotes, make sure you include that page number as well. I'm not shying away from using direct quotes, but I want you to try to challenge yourself to use your own words as much as possible. I know it can be a challenge when people say things so eloquently, and we want to kind of replicate that in our own words, which is fine. So I think what will be cool once you're done with this assignment is that it will serve you not only in this course, but when you actually graduate, and this can be a point of reference to add to your repertoire, because sometimes we learn so much and then we forget it, right? Because we're human, and then this can be a point of reference to go back to in your practice, regardless of what kind of work you will be doing. or currently doing. So just know that it will serve you well. Okay, so that is due this week by Sunday by 11:59. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. And the one last thing that I wanted to review is each week there will be a short video that will empower you to practice self-care. And I'm going to be totally honest, this is something I wish I had learned in my practicum, in my studies, and when I was in graduate school, because I think you get a smudge of it, but you don't really get taught how to really practice that. And what does that mean for me, someone who has a family and someone who has a million other things going on, is to really put you first, to listen to your mind, to your body, to your spirit, and to be present with that, and allow time to kind of replenish, whether it's taking a nap, whether it's taking a walk, or a true lunch break. Really encourage yourself to take at least, I say, 10 mindful minutes each day to take care of yourself, because you will realize that it will alter your mood and the work ethic that you're able to put through when you don't feel as stressed, right? So just the video, it's not mandatory, but I encourage it. It's something that you will have to access each week. And if you're into meditation like me, there's this really cool app called Oak, OAK, where you can do meditations and you can do deep breathing exercises, and it's really cool because it will remind you every day to do that. So great. Well, I look forward to meeting you guys. We are going to have an awesome semester. You're going to do great work. I have that energy flowing through me. I just feel it. And I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be in touch. Bye-bye.